It is showtime, StreamYard. Welcome. Good morning for those in my time zone. Good afternoon and good evening to viewers around the world or anyone catching this on the replay. Today is the final Friday of October, and I usually hold productivity streams on the final Friday and the first Friday of the month. So welcome to a productivity stream. That just means that I sit here and try to get work done and reward myself by chatting with you all and try to keep going. So basically, I reserve the tasks that I've been avoiding for these types of streams. And then you guys can all push me to get the stuff done. So welcome. And what are you going to be working on today? I've got some interesting stuff to share. Sort of before I launch in, because I think today, since the stuff I'm doing is pretty cut and dried, I want to focus on it. I'm going to do longer sprints. So yeah, we'll get our timer set up since I haven't done that before ahead of time. Get a good timer. We're going to do 30 minutes. How about that? I like this one, but it's only 15, so we'll do it at half speed. Okay. So now that that is set up, share. And back to this tab. How y'all doing? We've got Walmart Gremlin 2.0. Hello. And we've got a JC Carpenter. Hello. Does my banner say First Friday? I guess I thought it was First Friday. I actually did that on purpose. I reordered them and put that one at the top. It is Final Friday, which is where? It's somewhere. It's somewhere in my folder, but it's like, oh well. There we go. It's a scroller. That's why I didn't see it. Thank you. Cat Paw is here for the longer sprint since I'm already working. Good job. You've got this, Margaret. Thanks, JC. Hello, Gareth. Hello. Banner. Yeah, what's a banner? Who knows? So the interesting thing I was going to talk about was two things. And then, of course, the announcement is the interview later today. So just so I get those out of the way, I'll remind people again later. The interview is with Leonor Solis. She does contemporary romance featuring billionaires, first of all. I have to get that out of the way. But also plus-size heroines and Latinidad in general. So lots of Latinx, Latina characters to celebrate and see their humanity, which is gorgeous. I've read one of her books, and it's coming out in audiobook next week, which is very exciting. Because romance audiobooks are like their own thing entirely. Very cool. And the two things I thought were interesting is that I've been doing a lot of listening and reading to nonfiction about Native issues, so Indigenous rights issues. So I'm like, I really want to talk to people about this. But I don't know who's interested in those things and who's engaged. So let me know if you are. And then the other thing I've been working on, which I won't be doing today because I did it last night, is cover reveal graphics. So yeah, there's going to be a cover reveal, and I'm going to put up the first of the graphics, like hiding the most, today during one of our sprints. So you will see the cover by next week. If you are part of the Patreon crew, you'll get to see it first. And the way you do that is by following me on Patreon. I'm basically treating Patreon like my blog, and you can follow for free to just see the blog posts and get first dibs on stuff. But yeah, that's it. So how about you guys? Woo! That is the stronger tea, second tea cup of the day. Hi, Rachel. Nice to see you. Yeah, and we'll tag this. Oh, and if you didn't notice, I pinned a comment because my friend Leslie on Books, Gurs, and Purrs is one person away from 200 subscribers, and I thought that'd be cool to push her over the edge because, you know, I like doing that to cats and I like doing that to friends. Funny double entendre. Oh, 1,000 Great Books. Hello, hello. This is someone I just met in Melissa's chat. 1,000 Great Books must be stream hopping. Jim is here. Hey, y'all. Jim has several videos that are close to 1,000 views, which is amazing. I do not have anything close. So well done, Jim. He's got several in the running to hit 1,000. So like he had a list of who's going to hit it first, which is kind of fun. Gareth says, that's interesting about Indigenous peoples' history. One of my fave bands is Midnight Oil, who have been writing about Aboriginal rights through their career, an Aussie band. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, it's interesting to hear the way people in different nations define themselves and the terms that come out, because I think First Nations is more used in the US or Native American, and then in Canada, it's more, what is it? There's something different in Canada. Someone help me out. Is it First Nations there or is it Indigenous? There's like First Peoples and then there's Aboriginal in Australia. But yeah, good stuff. Ah, she hit 200. Yay! She does great reviews of books, especially social justice books. So we have a lot of crossover, but she's also experimenting with different genres that overlap, which is nice. Cat Paw is quietly hopeful to finish line edits by the end of the month. Line edits of what are we working on? What genre? Midnight Oil, Beds Are Burning is a classic track around Aboriginal themes. Oh, Jim is vibing with you, Gareth. So there you go. Yeah, they recently did a song called First Nation, which was a collaboration with Aboriginal artists. All right. And now she's at 201. Sweet. Hope the line edits go well. Andino and Dina. Is that the title? Give us some more information if you want. Okay, so it still says First Friday. I'm gonna get rid of that. I don't know why it's still on there. That was our announcement round. This concludes your announcement round. And let's see. I'll put this up in case you want to follow and be in on the cover reveal next week. And we can start. It's 10 minutes in. We could start our first 30-minute sprint. And my background is the Patreon book club books we read. So this is leftover from yesterday. If it is distracting, I will change it. There we go. Nice green fields. How's that instead? Yeah, you do need an elevator pitch. Genre, main character, main conflict, premise. There you go. Hi, Laura. Good morning. Morning. So we're just going to launch into our first 30-minute sprint, and never fear, I have the 15-minute timer set on half speed because I like the spooky vibes and the crackling fireplace, and that's just how we're going to do this today. So get whatever you're working on, your reading, your laundry, your dishes, what have you, and we'll start that now. And I'll catch up on chat when I get back. Yay! Hi, Melissa. There's a way I can loop. Well, this is fine. I'll just confuse everyone and they'll have to question their sanity when they come in and see the timer going really slowly. Okay. Bam. No, not the stats, please. There we go. And I'll mute myself so that I can do this whole patter thing and not bug everybody else. 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay. I knew you could do it. Thanks, HK Darkwood. Your timers are the awesomest. All right. So it is now 10 minutes after the hour. Actually, it's 11 minutes. What did we get done? I've got a lot of chat to catch up on. So while you update me on what you were working on, I will say my piece and then catch up on the chat. So I worked on cover reveal graphics. Some was graphics because I didn't exactly get what I needed last night, and some was posts. So I have posts going up. 1 just went up, and 2 will go up in the next 20 minutes. And then I will press the next post on the next sprint to go live. So stupid Instagram. Let's see. So someone mentioned Daphne du Maurier. Gareth is going to read his first Daphne du Maurier. Jim says, I like Daphne du Maurier. Really enjoyed Jamaica Inn and Rebecca. That is actually Cat Paw's favorite author. She asked which book starting with, and he said the short story, The Birds. Very cool. And then we got Cat Paw's super awesome elevator pitch for Andino Andina, the book that she's writing right now. Specfic, solar punk, magical realism. What happens when you get the chance you didn't dare to dream about and take it? Jacqueline, a 30-something cat guardian who is determined to live life her way, is about to find out. Her life as a freelance translator and animal communicator on the Costa Maya in contemporary Mexico is all right, but not particularly exciting. That, however, is about to change. For in a parallel existence, there is a place called the Republic of the Andes. Here, the South American continent was never devoured and divided by conquerors, and solar technology was developed. Hi, Leslie! Check your subs. Centuries ago, enter field agent Braun, who is no one really knows, but all of a sudden life got a lot more interesting than Jack had ever imagined. If you ever suspected you're a freak and too sensitive for this world, this is for you, because somewhere what you've been thinking of as your freak is almost prerequisite. I love it. I love it. I want to read that. Rachel's heading out. Thanks for stopping in. Melissa's heading out. She finished up her project, which is great. Going out into the cool, fresh air. I'm glad it's cool and fresh and not so gross out there. And yeah, I realized that I don't get to hear the crackling fireplace from the timer when it's muted, but I hear it in my head, so it's all good. Countdown. It did fly by. It did fly by. I've still got more on my little list here, but do you ever get to that point where you're like, I have so many things to do, I just can't think of them all at the same time to be able to rationalize which one should take priority, so like nothing gets done. Like you just can't. That was me with emails and communication on all platforms this week. So I did a bunch this morning and got it out. But like if I look at my publicity sheet, I've got all these communications in various stages to people that I'm going to be doing guest appearances on. And then if you look at my social media stuff, I'm trying to plan ahead for launch stuff like cover reveal and pre-order bonuses, and do that on 4 platforms. 5, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Patreon, YouTube. And then I've got video content, which is what I'm doing right now. So yeah. And everything else. So sometimes when I get overwhelmed, I just can't even hold it all in my head at the same time. And so I just run away and read a book. Hi, Ven. Ven's Corner, just dropping in. I have acquired coffee. Excellent. I have acquired a most excellent mug. This is my grandma's. Gareth likes du Maurier's style. Nice. I relate very much to this conundrum. I'm not sure which conundrum. Oh, the one that I just said. Okay, not the fireplace or whatever. Yeah, the too many things going on at once. Yeah, prioritize and make a plan. off I go, leaving the stream up. Thank you, Melissa. Have a good day. Glad to hear you're liking Du Maurier. I think Jim mentioned that Daphne du Maurier had a grandfather, George du Maurier, who was a Victorian writer who some people are reading for Victober. I thought about breaking into New Grub Street by George Gissing, and then instead I opted for the shorter read, which is a 6-hour audiobook by Andrew Morrison, who I'd never heard of before, called Child of the Jago, and it's very Dickensian to start. I've only listened to like the first half an hour, but it's very like creepy crawly East End, the worst of the worst. It was a black pit. This street was worse than the street before. That's kind of interesting. But it's a classic, and it's narrated by Nicholas Bolton, who's a delightful narrator. So I'm getting a kick out of all his London accents. It's fun. Yes. So recent. Wasn't she writing in like the 50s, 60s? I don't know. It's interesting. Sometimes StreamYard brings comments in out of order from what they are on YouTube, and I think that's what happened here, because I got yes from Catpaw before Gareth didn't realize she was so recent, which sort of seems flipped. Yeah, 50s. Okay. Yeah, it's an interesting time. The 50s and 60s, usually not my favorite. I haven't found many that I like, so maybe that's why I'm holding off on Daphne du Maurier. Yes. So what else am I running away to? So reminder, interview later today, UK folks, except maybe Gareth will be asleep, so watch it on the replay. But I'm interviewing contemporary romance author Leonore Solis. And what I really liked about her book that I read, Yours for Now, is that it's a great love story. There's great writing. There's good humor. There's a good stakes set up. So like it's sort of workplace romance, which is one of the ones that I like, but it's also like very much realistically set up in terms of why you would hide something and be a bit in dread of people knowing about something. So I felt it was very realistic, even though it's a series with billionaires, because I don't think billionaires are very realistic. But yeah, I'm going to have to ask her about that today, about like the billionaire thing. So Daphne du Maurier's life, I assume, 1907 to 1989. She only died in 89. Yeah, all right, my lifetime. Crazy. Okay, so that's the interview today. The cover reveal. Other publicity stuff. Are you guys doing anything for Halloween? I was reading oh, I know. I'm going to talk about this on my next wrap up after the election, but The Truth According to Ember is a native contemporary romance that I finished yesterday. It was so cute. And in the end, they have a scene where it's Thanksgiving and someone brings some pumpkin pie, and I was like, oh, pumpkin pie. So it's getting to be that season, y'all. It's exciting. Trivia on Daphne du Maurier. Yeah, she did not write much toward the end, just drove like a demon. What? How did that come up? Why is that in the headlines? Catpaw, how do you know this? I'm curious. Leslie says, I'm excited for your interview today. Awesome. Leslie, did you see the pinned comment? I got you over 200. I think I got you I got you 199 and 201 at least. I don't know who was 200. I've never had pumpkin pie. May have to find a recipe and make some this week when I am off. Oh, excellent to have a week off. I hope that's not for a bad reason. I don't know. Do you get canned pumpkin regularly in the UK? Because it's not the same when you make it with like actual pumpkin. You get like the pureed like pumpkin. It's otherwise it's so much work and it does not feel worth it. I love a slice of pumpkin pie with a cup of coffee. That's a good combo. The bitter and the sweet. Mm-hmm. 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 I told you to check your subs. You did not hear me. Oh my gosh. So Leslie's busy cooking up all these reviews and everything. She's got a solid calendar. I have really taken this year to be more laissez-faire with my calendar. Yeah, including the publishing calendar. So we're acting on faith. We're trying it out. So we'll see. Laura says, I bought a can of pumpkin once. I felt so American. That's hilarious. Cat Paws never had pumpkin pie either. Oh my gosh. Ben says, probably I will have a hunt. I'm on annual leave over Halloween again. Okay, cool. Jim is saying it in French. Soupe de potiron. Pumpkin soup. I mean, squash soup. I tried to make a squash curry soup the other weekend, but it came out way too thick. So it's more like a, I don't know, stew. I could water it down and make it more of a soup, but it's definitely not the French version of the soup. Yay! Leslie's at 202. Thank you, thank you. You're welcome. I don't know if that like unlocks anything on YouTube. I don't think it does. It's 100 and 500 that used to unlock something, but I don't know if 200 does anything. Maybe it does now. Who knows? So I did just finish the Native Romance. I'm still working on Empire of Letters, which if you are on TikTok and follow me, you can see the funny videos that I posted. Basically, the social customs that were promulgated and taught across the colonies. So across the colonies and down the generations, when all this social upheaval was happening, there were colonists, there were nouveau riche, there were all these sort of things where people were like, I don't know how to treat you, if I should be nice to you because you have money, or whether I could treat you like dirt because you're poor, basically, in the UK. So there were these things called manuals for letters. And so if you were doing business and you needed to write a letter, how to write your letter appropriately. Anyway, it changed over the 18th century a lot, the long 18th century. And I'm reading this book about letter writing manuals and what they say about the society, and especially the difference between the London-based ones, which the OG letter writing manuals, and the American ones, which were first like pirated and adapted to the American situation, and then Scottish ones, which were also pirated and adapted, but not until like 40 years later or something, 1760s. So I picked this up to look at letter examples around 1820 to get me like one little detail from my book. But now I'm just kind of like, I really want to finish this. It's due back to the library in 2 days. So I'm at page like 160 and it's like 300 and it's dense. I've been reading like 3 pages at a time and then falling asleep. So, but there are little gems in it, like the ones I've been laughing at on TikTok. So, yeah, I just came to the Scottish adaptation section, so hopefully that'll be a bit more interesting. But yeah, letter writing. Leslie says pumpkin soup sounds good in a bread bowl. That sounds really filling. I think I could probably take about 4 bites of that. Gara says, talking of feeling American, I was talking to my students today about the pronunciations of words, and everyone I mentioned, they use the US pronunciation. Really? Wait, who are your students? You have English students, don't you? I mean, you're in England. Is it an ESL class or is it a like school class? Butternut squash soup is yum. Yeah, butternut squash, I think, is more the name that Americans use butternut squash rather than pumpkin soup or soup au potiron. I do like that word though. Hatpa says, I discovered acorn squash pumpkin last year and I'm obsessed. It's close to pumpkin. I mean, they're both squashes. Acorn squash is really good. It's like super sweet and you can do lots of good things with it. Laura says, I say schedule and lieutenant the American way. Oh, I see. I said it wrong. The English ways are too weird. Yeah. Well, there's pronunciation and then there's spelling. So, I mean, what are you going to do? What's a person to do? What's a bloke to do? Oh, are we winding up for another sprint? Jim says, I use American spellings on YouTube because I have far more American viewers than UK viewers. Interesting. I just got an email with interview questions, and it's from someone who's part of an organization that's like based in California, but I think he must be British because he spelled favorite with a U. And I was like, oh, antenna. Like, yeah, there's your tell right there. It was funny. I was like, interesting. Gareth says they're English, but that's the thing. So many words now. Many people use the US pronunciation. Words like defense. How else do you say defense? Defense. Okay, advertisement, controversy. Yeah, I get those. Lieutenant is just ridiculous. I am ashamed of us. Oh my gosh. You know what this makes me think of is the Scottish name that people insist. Okay, so this is like a code. It's like a tell. I grew up saying Menzies for like the tartan that is a certain type from Scotland. It's like Middle English inherited pronunciation is Mingus. It looks like Menzies, but it's pronounced by like the upper crust Toff society or whatever, the family maybe, as Mingus because the Z was actually like a different character that doesn't exist in English anymore. I was like, what? That's crazy. So I like that little tidbit. I like those kind of things. That's fun. Ben says, my youngest kid tends toward American pronunciation, mass media. My eldest, the English version. Interesting. It's interesting seeing how UK English seems to be switching. You stress the first syllable. Defense. Well, we use that for certain usages too, just not all. Like the Secretary of Defense, which sounds like I'm saying, yo, defense. No, but when we talk about as opposed to offense, well, if you give offense, that's another usage. If you're talking about sports, though, like basketball, you would say offense and defense. Do you say Secretary of Defense? Or no, it's called something else, maybe. Department of Defense? It just sounds so weird to me. Defense. Defense. Wait, you just spelled those the same way, Gareth. That is not helping me. Defense. Wait, I think we may have disagreement. So we use both in different usages in America. So are you saying you don't use both in the UK for the variety of usages? I need consensus on this. Irish names like Aoife, Niamh, and even Siobhan can be confusing. I mean, not if you speak Gaelic. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't think you changed it. Jim, those names crack me up. Why? They're valid names. What are you talking about? The one that I came to the latest was Saoirse, which I thought was pretty funny. But yeah, the other ones I'm more used to. Oh my goodness. Okay, in the UK, it would always be the way you first said it. Defense, like Department of Defense. And now it's changing. So you think Americans say defense for every opportunity? Defense. The only situation I would use that in is like basketball or football. On the defense. Yeah, on defense. It's only sports, I think. But Americans, correct me if I'm wrong. It's getting very involved. I love lieutenant, actually. Laura. So think of another one like that. Just entertain me. Okay, let's jump into another sprint since it's half past. And let's see what other fun words we can come up with that are pronounced differently, or we think are pronounced differently. Let's do this again, and I'll just pick a different one from my handy dandy list of timers. We can't use that one. We can use Laura's if I... You want to do 40 minutes? Let's see. Math people. If I slow this down to 0.75, is that 30 minutes? Or does that not work? Because I know 1.5 means minus half. Does it work the other way? Or is that a ratio? Is that bad ratio? Let's see. I can't multiply it. I feel like it's right. It's one of those things like I don't know how to break it down into a formula, but I feel like it's right. So what do you think? Or I could just start at 15 and go to half, and then I'm sure of my math. Okay, some Americans say route to rhyme with out. I think that's a regional thing. Route 66, route. The route. When would I use route? A meandering route? I don't know. That might be regional. I have heard both. I'm not sure what separates it. I love that meme. The Irish spelling of names is my pet peeve. So good. That's a good one. Thank you, Laura. All right. Since there are no mathers mathing in the chat, just not to be annoying, I'll start at 15 with Laura Nettles' lovely timer and just do half so that we know we're getting 30 minutes. There. Nope. Okay. And it's going slowly. Cool. Hi, Jocelyn. Give us a weird word that's pronounced differently in the US and the UK. All right, I'll mute myself and have fun staring at this lovely timer. 3, 2, 1. Congratulations! Yay! Okay. That is about where my brain power ends. I've been working on stuff for about 4 hours and I have not read anything yet today. Horrors. So let me catch up on the chat, and we have like 20 minutes to congratulate ourselves, which is a good ratio. So Jocelyn came in. That was the last one that I saw. Jim says, a friend from North Carolina says, route to rhyme with out. Leslie says, sounds good. Math gives me nightmares. I mean, if anyone can tell me if I'm right or wrong, that would help. Cat Boss says, there's always Lost in the Pond. It's a YouTube channel. If I can't get enough of these funny words. All right, so we've got differences in UK and US pronunciation. Ass, arse. Yeah. Laura, I don't know. So this is not a common word. So like, when am I going to hear this in context, right? Ross from Friends once said puma instead of puma. Do you say puma? Sometimes you do like a liquid U when I wouldn't expect it, but I've never heard this one in casual conversation. So let me know if that's it. Jim says, I'm reading Road to Nowhere by Brayley Parkinson, a crime novel. An 18-year-old African-American takes a road trip to Wyoming and disappears. Yeah, that doesn't sound like a happy resolution. Rita came in. Hi. Just finished my stream. Oh, late stream for you. You're not in the 5 a.m. club today. Planning on getting into some editing. Well done. Jim's got some more words. So let's see if I get the UK pronunciation right. Leisure, tomato, zebra. The last letter of the alphabet is Z. All pronounced differently. Yeah. Laura says, mirror versus mirror. Mirror. It's there. There's like is it a diphthong? No, it's something smaller. Mirror. I don't say mirror because there's too much of this. Andy came in to say hello. Hola. Emma says hi too. I don't think she's saying hi unless she's with you, and I don't think you're in the same location, so I'm not going to accept that. She has to come here herself. JC heading out to go early vote. Yay! Have a lovely day and have a great weekend. Thanks, JC. Rita says, Hubs is asking for homemade French onion soup. My lunch hour may be getting thwarted. Oh boy. I mean, the Trader Joe's version is pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of stuff where I'm like, no, Trader Joe's version doesn't cut it. But their French onion in the frozen aisle is actually pretty good. Holiday bells. Holiday bells? What did I miss? I didn't hear any. I was on mute. I'm confused. Tell me what you're saying, Leslie. Ben says, I mean, to be fair, homemade French onion soup sounds amazing. It does, for sure. Exactly like that. Puma. There's other words where that liquid U gets me, and it's weird. Not with a P. It's particularly upsetting with a P. I can't think of any now, of course, but like, anyway, we'll come back to that. I like this topic. I love Lost in the Pond. His dry humor always has me tickled. Oh, cool. So Cat Paw and Leslie watch the same channel. That's fun. Margaret is basically English. Oh, man. I try to soak it up. What can I say? Laura gave me one earlier. I'd like to share Cat Moggy. Laura gave me one earlier. I don't know what this refers to. Sorry. Laura nailed it. Margaret is English. No. Moggy. It's Moggy. What is that? Mirror. Okay, well, now Andy has to say it in his next stream. Gareth says, I started something with the pronunciation thing, eh? Yes, you did. Oh, the timer. It reminded me of Holiday Bells. Really? It's like drippy ink and water. Was I looking at the same timer? What? Laura Nettles timer? Leslie was noticing the holiday bells on the congratulations screen. Oh, okay. I missed that. See, I saw congratulations and I missed the bells. I agree that Puma sounds weird to me. I wonder how the shoe company would pronounce it if they're American or. Oh, yeah. New. New is more like G and U, isn't it? You're right. That's a good one. Pure like Puma. See, it's just putrid. I guess we do say it in putrid. We don't say putrid. That would be really funny. Oh my gosh. See, this is fun. We're so inconsistent on both sides of the pond. That's what makes this just a riot, I think. Emma is here. I was trying to be a hard arse, and I was saying Emma has to come here to say hi. So she's here to say hi. She's obviously listening in. That's pretty cute. Cat, American word, moggy. I didn't know that. Moggy is a word for cat? How did that come about? A moggy. Come here, moggy, when you're talking to a cat or when you're talking about a cat? That's not pronunciation. That gets into slang, which is like a whole another area we could dive into. Maybe we'll save that for next time. If you have a good recipe, Rita, I got lots of yellow onions yesterday with that in mind. Oh, nicely done. So I just put my onions in my squash soup, but I have more. I don't feel compelled to do the French onion soup. That sounds too fancy. Let me know how it turns out. I love making French onion soup. It's fairly easy. I mean, a crap ton of onions. And what, like oil or butter or both? I'm curious. Hard arse. I'm rolling with the conversation, Rita. Okay, Rita got it. Yeah, I've never heard that before. That's pretty cool. Andy's close enough for it to count now. Are you in the same place? Is Andy in the UK? Did he go for a visit? Rita says we talk all kinds of random things in my stream, Margaret. Yes, fun things. I prefer ass to arse. I also prefer cat or kitty to moggy. Interesting. About a cat. What a cute moggy. Okay. Moggy. Why? That's so strange. It's such a leap. Arse is a nice swear word when something goes wrong, like bollocks. Okay. Arse. Ass is a donkey. Butter, cheeses. Well, the cheeses go on top, so it doesn't go in the mix, right? Right? I think the bread and the cheese go on top when you broil it. Andy's in London. Oh, okay. I think, I remember that a long time ago, maybe being a thing. And by long time ago, I mean probably 2 weeks, 1 week. The days are impossibly long these days, guys. So impossibly long and yet impossible to get everything done. I don't know. I'm sure other people have this experience too. Okay, so Emma just said she went to, where did you just go? You were on a day trip to Kent. Kent is next to London, right? Which is the best thing to ever happen. I mean, I was in London too. I think moggy might be similar to mongrel for a dog. So moggy is not a nice term, because mongrel is really not a nice term. I think a mongrel. It means mixed parentage, if you will, and not a mongrel. Not well behaved, even maybe. I don't know. I don't know if that has that connotation. Days merge together. It's all someday to me. Oh, nice. Gareth says, I found some new people to subscribe to here today. Oh, and let me, because I know it makes it a bunch easier, let me make you guys moderators, because as soon as you're moderators on the channel, you can find people who are hard to find based on their name. So let me see if there's anyone else. By clicking on the 3 dots to the right of their name, and then you say goes to channel. So Ven, yeah, Laura, I think that's everyone. Oof, there's a lot of chat. Okay. Yeah, so if you want to subscribe to people, which I do recommend, you can click on the right hand of their names and go to channel, because sometimes it's hard to find people whose handle is different from their channel name because it's very common or something. So Moggy means like non-pedigree, I think. Huh. It sounds cuter than mongrel, but that's because I'm unfamiliar with it, so I don't have any previous association. Interesting. Okay. Where does mongrel come from? I don't know if I want to unearth that, because it kind of sounds like Mongolian, like mongrel. I don't know if that's going to be a good word in the end. Yeah. Cute Moggy. Doesn't sound right. Cute cat or kitty works for me. Yeah. But it's cute. I have transformed. How exciting. Eloise is here at the tail end. We got like 10 minutes left, Eloise. We're just chatting. I think Kent has a literary festival next week, specifically at Medway. It's relatively new. Medway. Ven has the power too. Oh, Gareth says, oh, I didn't know that. I'm off work this week. So, all right, both you guys have work off for Halloween. Interesting. Maybe you'll meet in Medway. Medway makes me think of Medlock, which makes me think of Secret Garden and Yorkshire. So that's where my mind is going. We were talking about Kent. We got into a little bit of a sidebar conversation on Instagram because, like many places, the Kent in England has a sister city called Kent in Washington State. And I've actually visited the Kent in Washington State, but Eloise has more extensive experience of this town. When I went through, I was stopping for lunch on a little day trip or a side trip with a friend, and there was like this huge farmer's market. There was also like a parade going on for the summer, something or other. There were horses, there was a band, lots of people out. It was very exciting. It was also right next to the train tracks. Like the town, the little neighborhood we were in did not have chain stores. It had churches, it had houses, it had trailers, and it was right next to the train tracks. So I thought we were getting a very authentic Kent experience. And yeah, I did look up Apple areas in England, and Kent was on that list. So Somerset may be more known for it, but Kent is on the list. And the reason it was in my head was because Jacqueline Winspear writes about them. But she talks more about the hops in Kent. So maybe they're more well known for the hops. People from London getting extra money during the season to pick hops and coming back to the city and having that be part of the lifestyle. And I thought that was really cool, part of the historical culture to learn about. I played at an all-day music event in Medway once. That sounds like Brooklyn. I stayed a month there one night. Is that supposed to be a joke? No. It's a Newsies joke. Ven says the literary festival is in its second year. Very cool. Eloise says, I used to have the misfortune of working in Kent. The number of times I got stuck at those damn train tracks. That is also a problem in Portland, though. There's several places I avoid because you get stuck at a crossing and the trains that go through are 3 towns long and they have to go slow through the city. So you can be there for like 50 minutes. It's ridiculous. And lately I saw a headline and I noticed that it was true. They've started double stacking. So I'm sure they're going to go even slower. So like you see a, what are they called? A shipping container. Shipping containers are big, right? They could be like a house or trailer size. They're double stacking those on rail cars. and then making it a long train. So, no, I'm not expecting us to have any toxic accidents in the future. What are you talking about? The risk, I'm sure, is just the same. Come on, America. Ben says, I wish I was closer and could drive. It's a long way from Manchester. Medway. Where's Medway? Yeah, it is far from Manchester. I'm in. Is that a dig? Is that a dig? Portsmouth, which is also a bit of a way away, and I don't drive. Oh my gosh. By don't drive, do you mean you never learned to drive, or you don't presently have the capacity to drive? Two different things. Jim says, Tipping the Velvet had the oysters from Whitstable in Kent. Okay, so this is a Sarah Waters, Sarah Waters, I think. Author had the oysters from Whitstable in Kent. So Whitstable is a town in Kent. In Kent? Oysters. Oysters are sea. Does Kent border the sea? Am I not getting my geography right? I thought it was more inland. I mean, it is an island country. Okay. Wave to the Isle of Wight for me, will you? Will do. Isle of Wight is close. I'm next to the beach. Oh, Mo. I've never learned to drive for my own and other people's safety. I'm bad enough with a shopping trolley. That's funny. Oh my gosh. Gareth also, I've never learned to drive, but should have done as a musician. Very silly not doing that. Oh my gosh, you guys. Have either of you been to the US? Because like you can't get around without driving. It's a fault. It's a terrible design choice. But like, yeah. It's much rarer for people not to learn to drive in the US, I'm guessing. From the informal poll we have going on here. We've got a Maggie who just released a book yesterday. Yay, Maggie. Scooting through to leave a like. Yay. Be blessed. Happy weekend, Maggie. Laura can't drive either. Oh my goodness. Wow. Jim says he stopped driving when he came to Tbilisi. Tbilisi. Maybe I'm saying that wrong. Anyway, that's the only way I could say it. Otherwise, my brain starts to stutter. Dara says, been to the US twice, but only big cities. Gotcha. Yeah, big cities are definitely the only places where you'd be able to get around. What is that? What is happening to my windows? Oh, it's just wind. Okay. Wind is rattling my modern windows. It's a little scary. And loved it. Yay. Yay for Maggie and her new book. Yeah, a few times a long time ago with someone who could drive, fortunately. There you go. There's the secret. Cat Paw definitely can drive. Do you need to drive to get around Mexico, you think? I would imagine, but I've never been to Mexico. Don't know what it's like. But, I mean, it's pretty big. I don't know what their transportation infrastructure is like. I don't know. Interesting questions we're coming up against today. So what other news, guys? People that are still here, I've heard what you're reading. I've heard what you were working on during the sprints. What about news? Any news anyone wants to share? I was just working on one final section of the book because I'm waiting for the paperback cover, the wraparound cover, to be able to upload the final version, hoping it comes through today so I can order my proof. So like there's one section I forgot to do that I'm doing today. What other news? One of those things that's like, there's so many things to keep track of, but it's very exciting, is like interviews I'm setting up. And I happen to, again, I'm on TikTok, come across someone who's way into climate crisis action and education. So we got to talking about Slow Down, which I went into some depth on Wednesday's wrap up when I reviewed Slow Down. And he also just read it. So I think he'll be coming on in a week and a half or so, and we're going to talk about that book. So economic nerds, plan ahead, get your seats early, grab that popcorn. But that's exciting, and I think I'm going to be talking to JD Estrada, fan favorite, pretty soon. And I think we'll just have things sprinkled throughout November. I may get a graphic up that has like a little tour or whatever, because normally I don't make such an effort to be on other people's channels, but I want to get the word out about the book, and that requires effort, coordination, communication. So I can't just run away and read. But yeah, so I'm listening to Child of the Jago for October. I'm reading Empire of Letters for my library Get It Back book. I'm reading We Are the Weather by Jonathan Safran Foer, and so far I don't like it. I thought I was maybe mixing up Jonathan Safran Foer with the other Jonathan that I don't like, who's a literary fiction sort of prig. But I think maybe I had it right, and I have read him before and I didn't like it. So we'll see. It's a climate book, so that's why I'm like trying to give it a chance, but it's not my thing. I do not like his tone. I do not like the way he's approaching getting his point across. So I've got Cousin Bet, which is the Zola I was gonna read for the vlog and for October. Meh. Got other books. I've got other library books, but nothing I'm too excited about at the moment. So Jim says, I was in the US once, took Greyhound buses and trains from New York City to Chicago via Niagara and Ohio. That's a long bus ride. New York City to Chicago, long ride, and via Niagara. You went around the Great Lakes? I've never been to Niagara Falls, so all I know is that it's like upper Michigan. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And Ohio. Wow. That's cool. Kara says, yeah, going to Croatia next year with someone who can drive, and we're driving to 2 other countries while we're there. Yeah, when I was in Croatia, I was using trains and buses. The bus on the coast was pretty nice. It's beautiful. I mean, no matter what you're using, it's going to be beautiful when you look out the window. So, all right, so news. Kara says, I submitted a short story to a local competition, but the word limit was 3,000 words, and I had to edit it like mad. Ended up taking out lots of interesting lines. Oh, well, if it wins the local competition, that will be great. But if it doesn't, you could publish it and then as marketing material, drop the edited lines if they make sense out of context. Although you're writing, the way you were describing it when you were reading it on your live stream a couple weeks ago, I was like, I don't know if that would make sense out of context. You've got a lot of like magic creatures and stuff, so that might be hard. But that was one of the ideas that I adopted. I took a few lines out that I was like, aw, and I put them in a notepad file, so they may come back later as a little teaser. Who knows? Then says, coming out of my week of YouTube hibernation of the last week, so planning out my Read What You Own challenge and hopefully Halloween stream. Nice. I just saw someone do a video for Read What You Own. Is it a November thing or is it a weekend thing? I can't remember. I keep that in mind like throughout the year, so it doesn't really work for a focused time challenge for me. Let me know how you get on with the Child of the Jago. It's on my TBR. It's interesting so far, but it's because I'm listening to the audio. Nicholas Bolton, he's really good. So I don't know that I don't know that I'd understand it so well in print because there's a lot of like London slang. So Leslie says, could we lock a December date down for you to hop on my channel so I can ask questions about some of the work I've read so far? What work? Plus you can promote your upcoming book if I don't schedule it. Yes. Okay. Leslie's going down. Oh, wait. Leslie's already on the list. I just haven't asked her yet. I just haven't pitched you yet. Okay. So let me put down December. I know you have December already all mapped out. So give me a day of the week. And I'll be in California. So Give me a day of the week, and then we'll try to figure out which week if you want to do it that way. If I don't schedule it, I never get to it. Yeah. December. I'm going to hear by next Wednesday if I got into the holiday cheer event. If I did, I will be back up in Portland for December 8th, which is going to sort of create some havoc, but I think it would be a really good event. And if I did not, then I will be in California and I will have extra time to go down to St. Louis. So if you maybe wanted to like drive up to Santa Barbara, we can meet in the middle. Read What You Own starts November 5th. What is November 5th? Why is that date in my head? What should about half of the people on this stream be remembering about November 5th? Everyone's challenge and target is a bit different. Gotcha. Yeah, I try to do it throughout the year because I have a lot of books. But sometimes you got to get what's new. Jim says NYC to Niagara, then Toledo, Ohio on Greyhound, then train from Bryan, Ohio to Chicago. How did you get from Toledo to Bryan? Never heard of Bryan. How? That's what I'm curious about. The people I was staying with didn't know you could take a train to Chicago from Bryan. They took cars everywhere. Oh, I am not surprised at that. Yeah, we don't take the train for granted because it doesn't go hardly anywhere. It used to go more places, but then they became not cost effective and they just took the trains out. So, not fireworks night. Come on, Gareth, help out the Americans on the stream. Help us out. Give us a reminder. Dee Dee's here. Howdy, howdy. I was briefly on Dee Dee's stream earlier. Brown Girl reading. Wait, you're here. While you're here, boop. There you go. So you can look up any other channels. Guy Fawkes Night. It's such a weird holiday. I mean, that's rich coming from Americans who have very weird holidays as well, but probably on a Tuesday evening. That should work. Okay, so I'll look at December for a Tuesday evening. Okay. If I don't write it down, I will forget it. Oh. What are we laughing at? Fireworks? Dee Dee's cooking dinner because she's halfway around the world. They used to make Etch-a-Sketch in Bryan, Ohio. Is it close to Toledo? I mean, it must be. Laura, is that sarcasm? Etch-a-Sketches are cool, man. Guy Fawkes isn't a holiday, it's a working day. I mean, just because it's not a bank holiday doesn't mean it's not a holiday. N'est-ce pas? Right? So, yeah. It read like sarcasm, but it really wasn't. Okay. All right. Oh my gosh, guys. This has been delightful. I will maybe jump into differences in slang or terms between UK and US next time because pronunciation was pretty fun. Here we go. We are at the end of our 2 hours. So thank you everyone for being here and sharing this time with me. Good job on productivity. I hope to see you later today for my interview with Leonor Solis. She's a great romance writer. You should give her a try. And we'll be talking social change in fiction, and you'll just hear what's up next. So that is me today. Yeah, dogs love the fireworks. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Okay. Well, good luck getting any work done for the rest of today. Have a great weekend. Happy reading and take care, everyone.